everyone. We got another beautiful guide from Braxophone. How to make your Black Swan OP. For those of you who've been lucky enough to get her, and those of you who are still saving up to get her, good luck, good luck. But yeah, let's get into another awesome guide by Braxophone. Let's see what memes he has for us this time, because he's always down bad.
The atomic bomb was known as one of the most destructive forces in the entire world. For many, many years, people lived in fear of this deadly weapon. Its explosive power is roughly the
I want to know, like, where does he get his opens from? Does he just cook?
By the hydrogen bomb, which could yield a result
while he's getting ready for bed, does he just cook of ideas?
Explosion, which could basically create Skyblock survival all by itself. But the hydrogen bomb is far from the scariest weapon around because it only contains about 1/10 of the explosive
Is this where he goes into Black Swan?
That results from Black Swan's midriff.
Holy!
Now that Black Swan is released, another piece of Exodia has been added to the Tall Hot Women team. And today I'm going to be going over how to build and play one of the most complex characters in Honkai Star Rail. If you enjoy these types of videos,
he's not wrong.
By liking, and also feel free to subscribe as well. With all that being said, my name is Braxophone.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about Black Swan.
Dude, she looks amazing. I wasn't for Black Swan when she first came out, but
easy to understand at the same time.
Changed my mind.
It's hard to understand her kit since it's the most convoluted thing in the entire game. But
I've heard it's very tricky.
Why you ended up on all
we got Black Swan for that.
Kit is longer than a Yu-Gi-Oh card in 2024. I'm just gonna leave this here so that you can pay attention. Black Swan's basically a damage over time nuke, meaning that she has damage over time that makes an enemy explode on their
Wait, that's just distracting me. Put that away.
Black Swan, I also explode. Her dot is called Arcana, and it stacks with itself to deal more damage up to 50 stacks. Think of it like STDs. It can't be removed or cleansed even when the boss phase changes.
I really don't like this stuff on the side, actually. Wait, get this away from me.
Your goal is to give every enemy on the other side STDs, or stackable talent damage. Her talent goes into even more detail.
Is that actually legit? Hold on.
Here too. Every time an enemy takes damage over time.
Wait, is that legit? Is that actually what her skill is called? No, it's not.
It's an enemy called Arcana.
Okay, well, we unlocked her, so I'm gonna go double check if that's actually what it's called. Okay, Arcana. Okay.
Stacks with itself.
I'm gonna ignore the stuff on the left.
Up to 50 stacks. Think of it like STDs. It can't be removed or cleansed even when the boss phase changes, and it ignores resistance to debuffs while counting as a wind shear dot. Your goal is to give every enemy on the other side STDs, or stackable talent damage. Her talent goes into even more detail, so I'll just go ahead and leave this here too. Every time an enemy takes damage over time, they have a base chance to get Arcana, and when you have 3 or more Arcana stacks and it triggers, it'll hit adjacent enemies as well. If you get up to 7 stacks, it ignores 20% of defense, which is canon, by the way, because I would also let Black Swan infiltrate my defenses on cooldown.
Holy Braxophone!
She allows friendly units that trigger a dot to add more.
He is literally just making me curious about the other stuff on the screen.
Skill and Sambo E4 don't reset the Arcana
stacks actually looks cool though.
So you're able to trigger dots and dish out a ton of damage with those characters without resetting anything. Another trace that she has gives her partial effect hit rate to damage conversion, which basically just means that she doesn't have to have split scaling issues and she can hit massive damage. And the only thing funnier than massive exploding wind damage.
What? Hold on.
Dish out a ton of damage with those characters without resetting anything. Another trace, you're able to trigger dots and.
So every time an enemy target receives dot during a single attack by an ally, there is a 65% chance. Okay, so wait, single attack. Does that mean it has to be like one unit attack, or can it be like
dish out a ton of damage with those characters without resetting anything.
Okay.
Another trace that she has gives her partial effect hit rate to damage conversion, which basically just means that she doesn't have to have split scaling issues and she can hit massive damage. And the only thing funnier than massive exploding wind damage is whatever this is. So now that you sort of know how Arcana works, I can actually start talking about the character. Her basic attack is actually the most complex basic attack in the game, so let's just...
Stop it!
Basic attack can apply 1 Arcana to enemies and has an extra base chance to add 1 more stack of Arcana for every dot type on the enemy. So up to 4 extra stacks.
So more dots
base chances
means good
on their own. They're all independent of each other. But with that said, unless you're in Simulated Universe, you're probably not going to have every single type of damage over time up all the time. And also, if an enemy has Arcana on them, that counts as wind shear. So you're also getting that chance for the extra stack every single time. You'll end up using her basic attack probably more often than not. Her skill skill is probably what you'll end up starting off with, though, since it's a blast wind
Lasts for
damage
3
with
turns.
100% base chance to add Arcana and also lower enemy defense. Her skill trace gives her the same effect as her basic attack, where you have a chance to gain bonus Arcana stacks for every single different dot type on an enemy. So basically, you want to stack up a bunch of Arcana using other dots.
She's just
and Black
stacking.
Swan's kit just to
She
make
just
it blow
stacks
up
for
massive
days.
Wind damage. That's the entire thing behind her kit. Her ultimate also helps a fair bit as well.
That's actually the
because it
team I was
gives
thinking of
enemies a
using.
vulnerability for 2 of their turns and makes Arcana stacks count as every type of dot. So
What?
when you use her basic attack or skill, you have a chance to apply an extra Arcana for every kind of dot, no matter what. Once per ultimate, Arcana also won't reset to 1 stack.
She
after it
seems
blows up.
like
Oh,
the
and
most
also it
complex
does
character to
wind
keep
damage.
track
Kinda
of.
forgot because I was too hyperfixated on her massive
Yeah.
personality. Lastly, your technique applies Arcana stacks and keeps applying an Arcana stack until it fails to add one, with each chance getting a little bit lower. Usually this means about 3 Arcana stacks from her technique with a complete build, but like my financial state, it's pretty random. Ultimately, the only thing harder than Black Swan is the people who play her, but once you get her down, she's an incredibly powerful character. For talent priority, I'd recommend going for her talent and her skill first. But her ultimate and basic attack are also going to want to be leveled in the end, so you're going to get them all.
So everything for once, instead of ignoring her auto attack. Interesting. Thank you for the follows,
With Black Swan revolving around fate and cards, you'd expect her kit to have some
Whoa.
RNG, but it's basically a non-issue if you build her right. The only problem is your relics f***ing suck. The best in slot relic set for Black Swan is the prisoner set used for most dot characters.
We'll start farming that set now.
As well as defense.
Welcome.
In a worst case scenario, you can
we're watching some we're watching a beautiful guide by Breck's phone on Black Swan.
Is undeniably the best set. As for planar
I'm just gonna use 4-piece.
is best due to its effect hit rate bonus and attack scaling based on effect hit, but Glamoth and Space Healing Station are actually pretty okay.
We're using those too.
You'll want an effect hit or attack body, speed or attack boots, wind damage or attack.
So she's just Kafka but wind. Got it. Understood.
Ideally, you'll be able to get to at least 120% effect hit rate to get some solid damage.
Stop showing the other games on the side.
Without an effect hit
it's
rate body,
not
then
helping.
Attack body is better. And as for speed, because she wants to hit enemies between their turns, where her dot will trigger and reset stacks, usually you want to make Black Swan as fast as possible. For endgame content, a lot of enemies are calced at 158 speed, and accounting for a break, that would be roughly -4 for them, so that would put them at effectively 154 speed in the turn order. So if you make Black Swan 155 speed, you'll be speed tuned to the enemy to max
She's gotta be that fast? Are you kidding me?
If you play with other speed buffs, her total speed can actually be lower. Like if you play one main with max talent, you can actually run her at 145. Well, if you want to get even more technical, you can run her at like 135 with Rowan, maybe because she has the break delay, but basically what I'm saying is faster is better, but if it's too fast, too furious for you, you can't go a little bit lower. You're gonna need this again. The average player probably won't be able to reach those stats without a ton of time and investment, though.
Yes.
And she's still pretty solid.
That's essentially what I'm gonna have to do now. I know what all my energy is going towards. If we have energy today, it's going towards that.
Really bad. That's when you'd want to run attack boots instead, though. So the TLDR is you either get to at least 155 speed or higher for Memory of Chaos. That way you can fit in extra Arcana stacks between boss attacks and maximize her damage. It's about 15% more damage than if you went something like 134 speed. Or if you treat speed as an actually useless stat,
speed tuning bad? Did you already pull for her? I did.
Slow, it ends up being the second best thing to getting 155 speed, unless you literally just don't break enemies ever. It's super freaking weird, but it's either greater than 155 speed or no speed.
Ooh, nice,
at all.
nice.
Or, you know, if you play
did you get her?
Just that. If you can't get to 155
I don't know. Actually, have you? Are you trying to pull for her? Most people are trying to pull for her. I don't use dots, but I'm trying to work on my Kafka. So I was like, oh, let's try to get her. And we won our 50-50.
For substats, if you're aiming for a
granted, it was a pretty high stack, but hey, a 50-50 is a 50-50.
If you're going for a fast one, and if you're not going for fast Black Swan, if you're going to attack boots, then ignore speed completely, go for attack percent and effect res.
So she's just gonna be a speed demon with dot stats. Got it. Light cone choices. I would have pulled it if I had Kafka and Silverwolf. I don't have Silverwolf. I only have Kafka.
When you reach Ishgard and unlock the Astrologian job, all you
I'm
need
more
is a shiny new weapon.
interested in Sparkle and Acheron, to be honest. So I'm actually really looking forward to those two.
Don't just lose for not being in patch 1.1 when they gave out that free Silverwolf light cone. Congrats. This truly is a win for PS5 players. Of course, her best
Sparkle is gonna make the game go boom with those skill points, but I haven't looked into any of her Eidolons. I haven't looked into any league content. You're gonna pull for Sparkle? Yeah, I think most people are gonna pull for Sparkle. I want Acheron just because Acheron looks freaking awesome.
How much money you have in your bank account before you pull for this goddamn light cone. Incessant Rain is pretty solid on her for its bonuses. The brand new free-to-play craftable light cone. It's showtime at S5.
I have that one either. I gotta figure out how to get this one.
5-star light cones that weren't already listed.
Unless it's from that mini game.
Also does that at S5, but it's not as free to play.
Nah, we're gonna try and go for her actual light cone. Unless I lose the 50-50, then too bad.
It also opens up some flexibility to attack percent body as well if you already have good effect hit substats. In the Name of the World is also great at S1. S5 tutorial actually works to give her energy due to her defense debuff on her skill, though it's not super necessary to build her for ult up time in comparison to other characters. Solitary healing is also good at S5, but there's better 4-stars.
I think I just got this one.
I wouldn't really opt for it here.
Okay.
And lastly, if you have a high superimpose for Mata, that's fine too, but like I said, the new craftable is just going to be better for her. Here's her light cones ranked on a sheet, and just once again, keep in mind that it all depends on the number of enemies, type of content, etc., but this is a good general reference.
I'll look at that later. BRB, I don't really look at graphs ever, to be honest. I don't min-max that hard. What's next?
It's about 3 a.m. in the goddamn morning, and I've downed a liter of coffee, so let's do this. Black Swan is the dot character, and she wants to play with other dot units. That's it.
I'm pretty much just gonna use her with Kafka, Fushuan, and wait.
Here are some dot units.
Oh, yo, he got me.
I wouldn't recommend this one on the far right because he sucks. Not power level wise, I just hate him. But his D4 is actually really good for this because he can trigger his dots with skill hits.
He got me. He actually got me. Wow. Okay. Good on you.
That counts as proccing a dot. That's really cool. It's really.
I don't want to use Sampo either.
It works like Kafka, and that's a pretty solid pairing with him and Black Swan. The only downside is that he's Wind and Black Swan is also Wind, so you're kind of doubling up on Wind dots, which is a little weird. But it's okay. It's not Jover yet. Gwenaifen is so damn perfect in every single possible way. I love Gwenaifen.
I pulled one of her. Finally.
Gwenaifen. Amongst all the creator drama, Gwenaifen is the only person that's not talking about it, and that's a massive W. Serval also dots, but she's erudition. Why does she dot? I don't know. Other characters that dot are characters like Luca. Luca is really good. He can reproc his dot. It's really nice. It's really cool. Oh, and Asta can also apply dots, but the reason I put Asta here actually isn't because she applies dots, because she applies attack to your whole team. Wow, very cool. Huoho and Ruan Mei are two of the better supports for Black Swan. Huoho is a healer, but she can add attack to your entire team and some energy. And Ruan Mei also gives damage bonus to your entire team, and also penetration, which is really nice for when Black Swan wants to throw on the strap on. Since Black Swan's going to be playing teams with multiple dot units, having characters that buff your entire team is going to be more beneficial than a character that just buffs Black Swan. And lastly, and the most important character is Kafka.
Of course it is.
Kafka enables every single dot team in this entire goddamn game. In the entire Star Rail verse, she is literally the most important character for dot teams. And Black Swan's debatably like one of the most important characters for dot teams because she does really big dot damage. And Kafka can just proc all of the dots and that make you do more damage. And more damage is really good because more damage means you kill things faster, which is awesome. It's the entire goal of the game. Now, can you play Black Swan without Kafka? This is actually a really important question that I want to answer as quickly and as succinctly as possible because team sections usually
get to it.
15 fucking minutes.
Get to it.
I don't really know why.
Come on.
Talk way too goddamn much. Black Swan is a strong enough dot character to be played with other dot characters and still make a decent time on like the hardest content in the game. And you can just play her with two other dot characters and a healer, or you can play with another dot character and Ruan Mei or something like that. But Kafka massively increases dot.
Although it just so badly.
Just due to the fact that she can reproc.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's actually a lot of damage. What the hell?
Definitely one of Black Swan's best pairings, and I would highly recommend playing Kafka with Black Swan if you have her. If you don't, you can
well,
still
too
play Black
bad
Swan,
she just came off the banner. Too bad. Well, we have Kafka. We have one of her at least. It's good enough. Good enough.
If you're watching this section, then you're an incredibly based white-haired woman enjoyer. But before that, you need to KYS. Keep your wallet safe. Eidolon 1 is her best value per dollar. Not that Eidolons are worth anything in real life, please.
What does that do?
Basically, every dot type on an enemy shreds their resistances to that type of damage. So if an enemy has a lightning dot, they have their lightning resistance reduced by 25%, which is basically a Ruan Mei ult at talent 10, but with full uptime. The benefit of this is that the dots are obviously going to do more damage, but I'm sure there's going to be some crazy comps you can use where you treat her as Ruan Mei instead of playing Ruan Mei, and then you could just have two of them. It'll be fantastic. The amount of damage this adds is pretty crazy, and if you're a slut for thigh boots, it's a good pickup. Her I
haven't looked at her Eidolons at all.
Adjacent targets 6 stacks of Arcana after an enemy with Arcana is defeated. The real STDs were the enemies we blew up along the way. E3 is going to be skill and talent level up, and E4 is going to make it so that when you apply your ultimate debuff, enemies have their effect res lowered, and Black Swan will get 8 energy back at the start of that enemy's turn, or when an enemy with it is defeated. It does only happen once per ult per enemy though, so it's decent but not as good as it could be.
Yeah, that one doesn't look that many good. That one doesn't look very good.
And E6 E6 basically allows Black Swan to be played well outside of dot teams, while massively enhancing her in dot teams as well. Whenever enemies get attacked by an ally, they now have a base chance to inflict an Arcana stack and an additional smaller chance to make it 2 stacks instead of 1. With a high effect hit Black Swan, you can effectively see 4 to 6 more Arcana stacks per team rotation, and potentially
I ain't getting her. We're not getting her that high. It's not happening. I'm not that much of a dot team enjoyer.
E0, get E1, or get E6. As far as E1 or her light cone goes, E1 is just going to be generally better.
E1 does seem pretty juiced.
Buff rather than just a
E6 ain't happening. That's not happening.
But I do.
I gotta save for Acheron. I gotta save for Sparkle.
Spend on this game when you could just play a 4-star and hit a quadrillion damage, baby. 99% of gamblers quit right before they win big.
Oh my.
All right, calm down. All right.
The atomic bomb was no.
Let's go back here. Let's go back. He just threw that in my face and went boom. Oh my goodness. All right. That was oh my goodness. Stop. How you doing? But yeah, that was a great video. Trolley guide by Braxphone, but oh man. All memes aside, Black Swan, I was not originally interested in her, but once I saw her and that trailer, my Stellar Jades were in trouble. And which sucks because I was really trying to save for Sparkle and Acheron, and you know what? The chances of getting those two are kind of in it's not looking good, okay? So I'm really hoping that we can farm a lot of Stellar Jades and that hopefully these events give us a lot of goods. But anywho, guys, there's the guide. Good job, Braxphone. Sub to him, like all this stuff. It's good stuff. Other than that, good luck on your 50-50s if you have not rolled for Black Swan, and if you have rolled for her already, well then I'm sorry if you got Yanqing or something, or Japard or Clara, you know, or let's not say even the healer that we all don't want. Anywho, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.